Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my breakdown of the Joker movie ending. Hopefully you've had a chance to see the movie. We're doing a giveaway for tickets. All you have to do to enter is just be a subscriber and leave your favorite Joker moment on the video. Please do use spoiler tags, at least till we get through the weekend, just to give everyone a chance to see the movie. And if you have not seen it, just blanket spoiler warning, because we will be talking about everything that happens at the end of the movie. Most of the questions that I've seen you guys commenting on my Joker movie review video is just a question of what is real and what is fake, because the Joker is an unreliable narrator, as is his mother, or at least we're led to believe that she's an unreliable narrator, because there are a lot of questions about that picture that she carried around of her signed by Thomas Wayne with a special message. So I've seen some fantastic theories that you guys have had about this, but really when we talk about the ending, that starts when he learns that he's secretly been adopted while he's at Arkham Asylum getting his files on his mother. She had previously worked for the Waynes about 30 years ago and believed that she had a relationship with Thomas Wayne. At least that's what she thinks. She keeps writing him letters. Eventually, Arthur reads one of the letters, and in it, she tells Thomas Wayne that Arthur is his son. So Arthur believes that he's the son of Thomas Wayne, but because a lot of the events in Arthur's life he made up, and then you later learn things did not happen the way that he thought that they happened, you're led to believe that that might be fake. He's not really the son of Thomas Wayne, and his mother was lying the whole time. Because as Thomas Wayne says, she was institutionalized. There are even adoption papers for Arthur inside her file. We learned that the affliction that causes him to laugh, the reason behind his crazy laugh, is because of the head trauma he received when he was abused as a child. So his world starts to unravel, he goes, suffocates his mother to death, then begins to just completely fly off the chain, starts painting himself up in Joker makeup. His former friend, seemingly that sold him the gun earlier in the film and then ratted him out, comes to visit him because of the police to make sure that he doesn't tell them the wrong thing that will get him in trouble. He winds up killing him before he goes on Murray Franklin's TV show in full Joker makeup, lets his smaller friend go. You were the only one that was nice to me. So at this point, you're starting to question what's real and what's fake, because he climbs into a refrigerator and a lot of people think that he actually died in the refrigerator and the rest of the movie is imagined. But the reason why I don't think that's the case is because too much of the movie happens in that last 15 minutes for him to have all experienced it within his mind while he was dying inside a refrigerator. So I think the takeaway from the refrigerator is that it's him just slowly transforming metaphorically into the Joker character. Like he goes into a chrysalis inside the refrigerator, then emerges more the Joker than he's ever been before. The basketball game music swells up as he rolls out of his apartment in full Joker costume and makeup, dancing down the stairs in the montage that they put in all the trailers. But the cops that have been after him the whole movie chase him into the subway. He uses the clown rise up movement to stop them, inadvertently starts a riot in the subway, later claims that he has nothing to do with that movement, and Thomas Wayne himself is also partially responsible for all these people wearing clown masks that I'll explain in a second. You get the scene of him waiting in the green room on the Murray Franklin show that we've seen in all the trailers, where he talks to Murray and his assistant producer, played by Mark Maron. One thing, when you introduce me, can you introduce me as Joker? Sure thing, bud. Sounds great. Him being on the TV show is meant to be a mirror of the dream sequence from earlier in the film. It's exactly how I imagined it, he says. So he dances on. It's this wonderful introduction. He's charming everyone. He kisses the old lady doctor, then sits down and gives his big speech about how society is just as bad as villains, how the rich doesn't care about the poor. There's this big class war going on during the movie. No one cares about him because rich man Thomas Wayne isn't talking about him on live TV the way he was talking about the three douchebags that he killed earlier on the subway. He freely admits to killing them, and it's almost like he's taking this weight off of his shoulders, like, I'm tired of pretending that it's not funny. It's funny. Comedy is subjective. He claims that he didn't kill them to start a movement. He's not political. I'm not trying to start any kind of thing. I killed them because they were terrible. Then he calls out Murray Franklin for being just as terrible, and he has his iconic line, what do you get when you cross a mentally deranged loner with a society that treats him like crap? You get what you freaking deserve, then kills Robert De Niro's character, Murray Franklin, on live TV. Remember, this is taking place in the late 70s, early 80s, so there was no time delay built into the broadcast system. Everybody that was watching Murray Franklin saw that happen. The clown movement that's happening in the streets during the last 15 minutes of the movie just boils over, everyone just rioting everywhere in the streets. There are fires, cars turned over. The Joker throws all this gasoline on that fire with his presentation. He looks into the camera and starts speaking just as the station cuts him off. Then things get really subjective. This is where you're really getting inside his head. As he's being driven away in the back of a cop car, you're meant to believe that he was arrested by the police and he maybe gave himself up. He's smiling as they're driving through all the riots, but then a couple of his admirers wearing clown masks crash an ambulance into the cop car that has him, freeing him. Then he wakes up on the hood of the cop car, starts dancing, basking in the adulation of all these rioting people wearing clown masks, and draws the iconic Joker smile on his face with his own blood. All this happening while Martha and Thomas Wayne are walking out of the Excalibur Theater getting their Batman origin story where they're gunned down by one of Joker's admirers wearing a clown mask. We'll call him Joe Chill for the purposes of this video, just for continuity's sake. He says, "You get what you deserve," guns them down, and Bruce Wayne is standing there over their dead bodies. Very iconic Batman moment. A lot of people wondered if this was going to happen because we saw this shot in one of the trailers. This is where it starts to throw you for a bit of a loop when it comes to false narration, what's real, what's fake, because the camera cuts to him inside Arkham Asylum in this white cell being interviewed by a psychiatrist. He starts laughing, and when the woman asks him what the joke is, he calmly replies, "You wouldn't get it," as the camera cuts back to Bruce Wayne standing near his parents' dead bodies in the alleyway. He starts singing a song, and then the camera cuts again to him walking down the hallway, leaving footprints of blood behind him on the white floor, dancing his way out. So because they're always revealing things that weren't happening the way they seemed that they were happening, a lot of this is happening in Joker's mind. You're meant to wonder what's real in this final scene and what's fake. Here's what was real and here's what's fake. Remember, the Joker is always imagining things in his head like he imagines himself on Murray Franklin's show when he's watching it at the beginning of the film. I think everything is real. He really did kill Murray Franklin on live TV. He did surrender to the police, but then they took him straight to Arkham. In the scene of him dancing on the cop car hood is probably him just imagining that. Him inside the Arkham cell, that's real. But when he's walking away, leaving the footprints of blood, that's meant to imply that he killed that woman, the psychiatrist he was talking to, and he's in the process of escaping Arkham Asylum. This kind of explains why there's such a quick seeming time jump from him dancing on the cop car hood to appearing in the Arkham cell, is that the dancing did not happen. That's all in his head. But I do think that Joe Chill killing Thomas and Martha Wayne, giving Batman his origin story, that was real. So I know there's going to be a ton of theories after this weekend about them doing a new Batman film with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Something completely different outside the DC universe. The reason why I'm not so sure that that's going to happen is because of the new Matt Reeves Batman trilogy. Warner Brothers probably isn't going to greenlight a couple different versions of live-action Batman at the same time. Based on the age of young Bruce Wayne here, you could say that this is close to being Ben Affleck's Batman, because Ben Affleck is playing a late 40-something Batman during his Batman movies. But a lot of people have wondered what the joke he was referring to was. When he tells the psychiatrist, "You wouldn't understand the joke," I think that was a reference to him finally being lauded as a hero, at least in his mind, despite all the terrible things that he did the past few weeks. Like, I'm the hero and Thomas Wayne is the villain. The added level of irony that Thomas Wayne was partially responsible for his own death because he called all these deranged people clowns. That's why they were wearing clown masks to begin with. Then the meta aspect of both the Joker and Thomas Wayne inevitably creating their own worst villain. So for Thomas Wayne, he was creating that Joe Chill person wearing the clown mask that wound up killing him. But the more meta aspect is that the Joker was inadvertently, indirectly creating the Batman by doing all this too. So that's why he's saying that the psychiatrist would not understand it, because it's such a complex but beautiful meta joke. Joaquin Phoenix was actually asked in an interview recently what his character would do if he were suddenly confronted with someone dressed up like a bat flying around Gotham fighting crime. And his answer was that his character, the Joker, would be incredibly happy at the sight. He would laugh. Genuinely, ironically happy, but delighted by how his nihilistic view of the world was seemingly confirmed by this crazy person dressing up like a bat, or someone that he thought was just as crazy as him. That gets into more Killing Joke Easter eggs. You're one bad day away from being me, the Joker trying to tell Batman that they're the exact same person.
I've demonstrated there's no difference between me and everyone else. All it takes is one bad day.
A lot of you are also asking about the picture of Joker's mother signed by Thomas Wayne with a really intimate message on it, making it seem like maybe she was telling the truth about her relationship with Thomas Wayne, as if maybe there's a small chance that Arthur could be Thomas Wayne's son. But I think that's mostly just to throw you for a bit of a loop. I do think that she had mental problems. I do think that she imagined her relationship with Thomas Wayne. And even if he was maybe kind of amorous with her, they probably never had a child together. Arthur really is adopted. Because can you imagine what comic book fandom would do if they tried to say that the Joker was Thomas Wayne's son? The only version of the Joker that is Thomas Wayne's son is the Batman Who Laughs, and they have not done him in the movies yet. So just remember that parts of those final 15 minutes of the movie, the ending, are fake and imagined in his head. Some of them are real. If there's any other big questions that you have about the ending of the movie, though, just let me know in the comments below. But this does give you a point of origin for this version of Batman, whatever you want him to look like. Todd Phillips made it seem like they're not planning on doing any sequels, but Joaquin Phoenix might be lured back if the film makes enough money. They might find a way to get him back in a couple years, but I think it's more likely that they would just do other DC Black Label films with other Batman villains, like a really hardcore R-rated film about the Riddler. That would be amazing, but the Riddler is going to be a character during Matt Reeves' Batman films. So if you have any other big questions about plot points in the movie or the ending, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to address that in my other Easter egg videos this weekend. Congratulations, Carvo, you're the giveaway winner from my last big DC video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your details. Everybody click here for my Joker movie review, and click here for that brand new Flash Season 6 Crisis on Infinite Earths trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody put on a happy face. I'll see you guys tonight.